confused.
All right, guys, welcome back to another episode of Something Super Podcast. I'm Steve.
I'm Mark.
And guys, we're just here today to cover a few things. But first, we would like to remind you that we are running the Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness free ticket. And that is 2 free ticket giveaway. And that giveaway is going to end on April 15th. In order to enter, you just have to like and share our posts on social media. That's going to be our Instagram, Facebook, and on our Twitter. So, Mark, you have anything else to say about that before we start up on MoonKnight and Morbius?
So you mean it's completely free and all I would have to do is just like or share the post on one of the social media accounts?
Yes, I would like to say it is that easy as liking and sharing a social media account post to win 2, and that is 2 free tickets to go see Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness.
And this is going till April 25th?
No. April 15th.
15th. I'm sorry, wrong 5.
All right, guys. So, again, give us a shout out on social media at Something Super Podcast on Facebook and Instagram, and at SS Podcast 52 on Twitter.
Thank you guys for all the support.
Absolutely. Let's jump into the show. So this week we're going to be covering the trailers of MoonKnight and Morbius, the things that have come out so far. By the time that you guys will listen to this, it'll technically have dropped, but that's okay. We're going to be doing some special stuff for the release of Morbius as well. And hopefully we'll hit you guys with a special episode this weekend. So, Mark, what are your feelings so far about, I guess we'll start with Morbius. I know it's the hot button topic for tonight.
Yeah, so I know we talked about this a little bit before, and we're both trying to go into these with open minds. And like I did with the Batman, I'm doing the same thing. I only watched the early trailer for both MoonKnight and Morbius. I haven't seen the second trailer. If there's a third one, I haven't seen that either. I haven't watched any of the TV spots, anything like that. Morbius for me is a fairly new character. Like I know of him. I don't know much about his story. So it's going to be kind of fun to learn about this character and see what direction they take it. I'm just hoping that Fox doesn't pull Fox and run it straight into the ground, which is the one review I've read what is happening so far with the story. So apparently it's a little bit all over the place. I just really want to see Jared Leto actually, perform well in a superhero movie after the whole thing with him being the Joker, which in all honesty, it really doesn't bother me. Like it's aged pretty well for me. At first, I really wasn't a fan of it. But then, I started kind of like rewatching the Suicide Squad, like just particularly his scenes, like his motive, the way that he was written was terrible. But I feel like with what he had to work with, he did a good job as Joker. But I really like the concept of, this is a guy who's essentially a vampire, which is actually falling right into what I really like with what Marvel's doing now, where, Morbius, there's apparently not Morbius, I'm sorry. In Moon Knight, there's apparently going to be werewolves, and we're kind of branching into like that supernatural aspect of the Marvel universe. And that's really appealing to me. Like, I really think that there's a lot of cool things that they can do with it. But like I said, I don't have that much background knowledge on the character. So I'll do my research after the movie and kind of compare, like, what did they do right? What did they do wrong? And that's when I'll really take my deeper dive into like the character.
Yeah, I think the big thing here, we'd spoke just before we started recording. You said possibly like a mummified werewolf, so that might mean we're getting mummies. I mean, we're talking ancient Egypt here, so we're gonna get like the full gamut of, like the horror show cast now. We got vampires and mummies and werewolves, and the whole undead aspect. Like it's pretty cool. I mean, we got Marvel zombies. That's another thing. So like these things all kind of exist in that universe. So I would like to see, a crossover with, Scooby-Doo. Let's just do that. Scooby-Doo this shit.
Yeah, like, I mean, for me, it's kind of cool because it's like, we know he exists in the same universe as Venom. And we know Venom probably has to exist in the same universe as a Spider-Man. I know we've talked about that before, and my reasons why I think it's Andrew Garfield.
Oh, no, it has to be. There is 100% absolute proof that it is fucking Andrew Garfield's universe, because it can't be Topher Grace, which is Tobey Maguire's, and he was transported to Tom Holland's universe. There's no other Spider-Man that we're aware of. So unless they're gonna fucking
Right.
retcon that later.
Which I wouldn't be shocked. The only thing I could see them doing, which it wouldn't make sense because in the trailer it's the red, white, and blue Spider-Man suit.
Yeah.
The only other thing I could see would be a Miles Morales
I see.
Spider-Man,
Now,
but
unless we're gonna do like an absolute Carnage, which would be an awesome fucking TV series, by the way. I think we're gonna have to go with Andrew Garfield just for now.
and that's what I'm thinking.
We got this.
Yeah, like that's what I was thinking was Andrew Garfield because, like you said, like Topher Grace was Venom in you know Tobey Maguire, and then Tom Hardy was in his own universe. They specifically mentioned the San Francisco incident, which is Tom Hardy's Venom. We knew he went to and now back to Tom Holland, to and from Tom Holland's.
Yep.
So by process of elimination, like it has to be Andrew Garfield. And if they're going to do the Amazing Spider-Man 3, Morbius was originally a Spider-Man villain. Like we
Yep.
could see maybe a team up. Maybe that's the team up we get rather than Venom and Spider-Man versus Carnage. Maybe it's Venom and Spider-Man versus Morbius. And maybe that's the plot going to be a plot for a third Spider-Man movie.
Awesome. That would be seriously fucking amazing.
Right. And then, that could be their bridgeway into giving Venom the traditional, black goo with the white spider.
Yeah.
And it would be then for the finish out the Venom trilogy, he's, slinging the webs and he's now the lethal protector.
I'd be fucking cool with that. And then again, to tie back, because I know we're both pretty big fans of the Absolute Carnage series. We have the comics. That would be fucking cool. Even if you did it as like a mini series, you could do like a what if style thing where it's animated, whatever. I don't care. I think that would be fucking cool to watch Carnage go and like take over different aspects of the Marvel universe.
Yeah, no, like 100%. Like the two biggest storylines that I love on the Marvel side is Deadpool kills the Marvel universe, and then the Absolute Carnage, which in both cases they're just taking out the entire Marvel universe.
Yep.
And I feel either of them would be a really cool thing to see. But with Morbius, I'm just interested to see, like, it's going to be a whole new antagonist. I'm curious to see who they have, be his main antagonist. Because like I said, I don't know much about him. It seems like he's wanting to be a good guy, but his alter ego is wanting to be a villain. Just from the trailer, he's on the boat and like he murders all the soldiers, all that kind of stuff, it seems. And then he's in like the blood bank, and that's when he starts turning and he's telling people like, get out of here. Like he's warning them, like, get away from me, kind of a deal.
Yeah.
But I'm sure, like, that's probably like early on, and then he'll have that like clarity moment, like he's got to turn and then he'll become the good guy in the end.
Sure.
Or not. I would love to see them keep him a villain and it just be a villain origin story, kind of like how they ran Joker with Joaquin Phoenix. But I'm just trying to go into this with an open mind, and I just want to watch it just for, the sheer pleasure. Like if it's a good movie, but not a good Marvel movie, like I'd be okay with that.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing. I wish Eternals was better as just like a singular movie. And again, because of what's happening in May with Multiverse of Madness, which, by the way, I'm just going to throw this out there. We are still giving away tickets for that.
Two of them.
Until
April 15th.
April 15th. Get 2 free, count them, free tickets. But yeah, no.
FRE.
E. For everyone. But yeah, no, honestly, like for me, there's so much to this fucking universe because again, we're getting the Andrew Garfield universe here. So in reality, we're at the point where like all of the universes are converging on each other. So fuck it. Like bring in these characters, bring in these storylines, bring in this shit that nobody really expected or needed or necessarily wanted, but like we're here for it now. Like if you're going to bring Andrew Garfield's universe in, because they have what the fuck's his name? God damn it. Why can't I think of his name? The Vulture. He is Michael Keaton. There we go. He is in Morbius, but I don't know if he's Toomes in that or if he's like the Vulture in that. He's just a character because it's not technically the same universe.
Right. And I feel like he's too big of a name for him not to be the same character. So I'm wondering if they're going to do with him what they did with Venom. So like Venom went to the MCU, maybe Toombs went to Andrew Garfield's,
Yeah,
and then he got pulled back. Maybe it'll be something kind of like that. I'm wondering if they'll even reference that whole situation in this because like we saw like Venom got pulled back and forth. Like, are they even going to acknowledge like, hey, like there was this whole like weird thing going on where people just disappeared and kind of came back, or are we just going to kind of be like, nope, didn't happen here?
I don't know. And he left a piece of the venom there, which again, or the symbiote there, like that was the indication that like that's going to be the Tom.
Hardy Venom.
No, that yeah, well, or the Tom Holland's Venom person.
Right, that's going to be the piece of the symbiote that finds Tom Holland.
Eventually, yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, honestly, even in Venom, like they reference like going somewhere else, and he's referenced working for the Daily Bugle before, and the only other place where the Daily Bugle, to my knowledge, that exists would be New York.
Yep.
So maybe the last Venom movie could take place in New York. I'm not sure what city this is taking place in. Is Morbius in New York? Do you know?
I want to say yes. And I could be wrong. Let me look that up real quick. But so
Because that's
I
just
mean,
one detail that I'm not sure of is like where this takes place or even when. Like, I don't know. Like, obviously, it's post the first Venom movie, but I don't know if this is like before Let There Be Carnage to where maybe the dimensional shift hasn't happened yet.
it looks like New York City.
Okay. Yeah. So,
So
I mean, then.
well, and the funny thing is like in the movie he references Venom. He says, "I am Venom." He's like, or no, he says, "We are Venom." He's like, "No, I'm just kidding. I'm Dr. Michael Morbius." And
Yeah.
like, so Venom exists in that world. He is aware, maybe not who Tom Hardy is, but at least who Venom is.
Do you think Venom appears in this movie as
I
a
want to.
cameo?
I would like to
Like,
say yeah,
maybe
'cause that
even
would be
Tom
cool.
Hardy?
That
Like,
would be
maybe we don't
awesome.
see Venom, but maybe we meet Eddie Brock.
That would be cool as shit.
Because I mean, I think that would be cool. But then again, depends on where this takes place. Because the second Venom, like he was still in San Francisco. Yeah, he was still in San Fran in the second one. So if he is in New York, it would have to be post Let There Be Carnage.
Yes.
But if it's like I said, it could be before. But who knows? But like I said, I'm excited for it. I know you are too.
Yeah.
What are you wanting to get out of this movie?
So what I want to get out of this movie, essentially, is it for. I don't need it to be like a total tie into the MCU just yet. I don't want it to be a one-off though, like Eternals seems to be so far. Um, I want a successful like anti-hero type movie that we're, again, we've been moving in that direction with like the darker side of things in Marvel. Um, Technically, since Venom isn't Marvel owned yet, if we could just get a sweet little, side piece here that brings in monsters and shit like that. We have aliens. I'm cool with that. Whatever. But yeah, I want to continue with that anti-hero style, or I mean, I don't know. I want a good villain that can also be a good guy. Because like you said, in the Amazing Spider-Man series, like he exists. Morbius exists. I mean, he was one of the biggest guys there. So make
Right.
that character one of the big characters in the MCU, whether he is a foe of Spider-Man's first and then they team up later or whatever that the case may be, but he could be a big bad.
And he could. And I mean, in the post credit scene for Let There Be Carnage, spoilers, like Venom straight up tells Eddie he has knowledge of a multiverse.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and
Like,
because he's fucking like omniscient. I think that's the word.
well, they're a hive mind.
Yeah.
So they can communicate with the other universes versions of themselves. But the fact that that happens means that the the Fox Marvel has multiverse in it as well, obviously because of Spider-Man No Way Home. But Morbius, I mean, they could make that jump. I mean, it's not, I wouldn't put it past Disney to just buy everything. Oh, you don't want to give us the rights to the character? They're going to pull Bruce Wayne. How'd you get my house back? Oh, I bought the bank.
Pretty much.
Like I could see Disney just being like, "Oh, guess what? I bought Fox." Like Mickey Mouse just pulls out the platinum card and does his thing.
Yeah, that would be fucking hilarious.
But I'm right there with you. Like that's really what I want out of it. I want a character that could be long lasting if needed, or a good one off if that's what this is going to be.
Yeah. No, I fucking agree entirely. Um, I mean, I feel like it's going to play a big role because he references Venom. Morbius was a huge player in the Amazing Spider-Man series. I don't want to see it just turn into this like, oh, it's a movie. Thanks. Bye.
Right. And I mean, and like you said, like, this is like the vampire realm. And just as a nice little segue, like we're getting into Moon Knight where there are werewolves. Like we could possibly even see him pop up in a future Moon Knight series if ends up being a season 2, or even maybe even in season 1, like maybe at the end, like he fights the werewolves, but now, oh shit, there's vampires. I mean, we got Blade coming out. Like Morbius and Blade would be a huge battle, or even a great team up. Like there's so many things I feel they can do with this character. It's just all going to depend on how they handle Morbius.
Yeah, I completely agree. I would like to imagine this is going to be the kickoff for Blade.
And that's my thinking. It's either going to be a kickoff for Blade or it's going to be a continuation for Venom.
Yeah. I mean, why not both? I'm just going to say it now. Why the fuck not both?
The only
Honestly,
reason why I would say why not both is because right now, I don't know if they can put all their eggs in that basket. Because, like we said, they did leave Piece of Venom in the MCU.
sure.
So, is that going to be the same Venom, or is it going to be a different Venom, or you know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
clearly Eddie Brock, like Tom Hardy's not there anymore. So that would mean that there would have to be an Eddie Brock in that universe that the symbiote finds.
Yeah. Or maybe Marvel's doing their own fucking thing and they just say, fuck it. It's not Eddie Brock this time.
That's possible. I mean, that's true too. Multiple people have had the Venom symbiote.
But what I think would be cool is in the multiverse of madness. Now, I'm really fucking reaching for straws here, but like pulling Venom into it and then like leaving him in the MCU universe, maybe.
I mean, that's possible too. I mean, Wanda can do whatever the fuck she wants at this point. She just got an 8-year contract.
Oh, dude, I'm so fucking hyped for that. I mean, they're not doing
Like,
WandaVision 2, but she's gonna have a lot of work coming up soon.
100%. I think they're gonna give her a movie personally.
They should. They
Like
fucking
on an
should.
8-year contract, you figure it takes maybe 2 years to actually film it, 1 year post production. There's 3 years into the contract. Then you can throw her into other Doctor
Other
Strange
things.
movies if there's
Yep.
more after this one. I don't know if Benedict Cumberbatch is coming back as that role or not, or how long he's got on his contract, or I don't know. I don't know what that is there. And he even said, like, Doctor Strange isn't part of the Avengers. He's kind of outside of the Avengers.
Yeah.
So I mean, with Doctor Strange, he's another character. They can do whatever the fuck they want with him. Like he's magic.
Yep.
Like,
And that's again because Wanda and I think Doctor Strange technically. I don't know. Is he a Nexus being or is that just Wanda?
I don't think Doctor Strange is.
Okay.
Well,
Well,
no, he wouldn't. He wouldn't be able to be because there's the Strange Supreme.
you're right. You're right. But yeah, I mean, like Wanda,
Because a Nexus being is
the
they're
same in every
they're
universe.
the same thing, I believe, in every universe. So like Wanda's always the Scarlet Witch.
Okay. All right.
Like,
So that makes sense. Yeah, but like she's the same in every universe. So you could put her literally fucking anywhere and it's just going to be her doing her thing. And that's fucking cool. And even if this is the end of Doctor Strange, which I don't think it is because we have Quantum Mania, we got a lot of time travel stuff going on and he is like the godfather of time in the MCU.
right.
It's, one of those big references. I mean, I'm excited to see where this goes. Like you said, I guess the perfect segue here would be to go into Moon Knight with the werewolves. We have Moon Knight coming out the same day that they're releasing Morbius. So we got a lot coming up this week, guys.
Right. And I don't think that they're doing that on accident either. Like you got vampires and werewolves coming out on, is it the same day or is one
Well,
Wednesday and
technically,
one Thursday?
no, technically, I think they're one's Thursday, one's Friday, but
That's what it is.
I mean, we're going to see the movie Thursday because we got like advanced screening for it. So like,
Right. I didn't know if I forgot whether Moon Knight was a Wednesday premiere or a Friday premiere. Because I know with Winter Soldier, it was originally like a Wednesday and then they moved it to Fridays. And
oh
then,
wait, no, you're absolutely correct. It's tomorrow. Shit,
yeah.
oh my god, it is Wednesday. Okay, well fuck. If you guys didn't realize we're recording on Tuesday, so okay. So yeah, no, they both come out this week though. So like two big releases in 1 week. That's amazing.
It's huge.
It was the 31st. But yeah, I'm excited to cover that. We'll be covering the Moon Knight stuff. We're going to be covering the Morbius stuff. We'll give you guys a full episode on like what we thought of, our first takes on it.
But yeah, I mean, honestly, I'm excited for the Moon Knight series. Like, it looks like it's something completely different. It's going to be darker. I feel like this is going to run the lines more of like a Batman style, like darker themes, like the Caped Crusader type of a thing. Like,
I love it. Honestly, everything that I've seen about like the trailers and the research that I've done on Moon Knight, I'm like super fucking hype. He's a bad motherfucker.
It's sad. I can't think of the actor's name right now from Moon Knight, the one that plays Mr. Knight. He passed away. So I don't know how that's going to affect. Now, granted, Mr. Knight's always in a mask. So, I mean, you could really have anybody reprise the role, but like, that just kind of sucks. It's like he doesn't even get a chance to really see like,
yeah, the work that he's done.
Yeah, like I really feel like Moon Knight is going to be like the best TV series so far, and then that's big coming from me because I was really big on WandaVision. I know you have mixed feelings about WandaVision and the pace it took and things like that, but like
it was just the first like 3 episodes. The rest of it was like boom, boom, boom. And I get why they did the first 3 episodes the way they did. It was based on like the the 50s, 60s TV shows. I'm cool with that. I'm fine with it. I think I was more upset in the beginning because I was so hype. I was ready to run at 100 miles an hour and they weren't. And I was like, God,
you wanted episode 4 right at the beginning.
Oh, dude, I needed episode 4 right at the beginning. And I was cool. I could go back and rewatch it right now and I think I'd be fine with the pace because I'm aware of like the
what's coming
taking. Yeah. And what it's going to do and the reason it is, which again, I could have the exact same thought process in like the Eternals and just be pissed off at them. And then they come out with some cool shit. But
yeah, I could see the Eternals leading into like Thor got like Love and Thunder or something like that, maybe because like the Celestials and all that outer space. You got the like I know Christian Bale, I believe it is playing what is it, Gore, the God Butcher, I think his name is, or
yeah. Well, and then there's another thing, just speaking in reference to Thor, who took off Thanos' head? Thor. And who came at the end of Eternals? Thanos' brother. Maybe he's looking for revenge. I don't know. Maybe. And again, that's a fucking far reach. Please don't think that that's real. I will die on the Mephisto hill, but that is a reach.
It wasn't really Thanos' brother. It was Mephisto.
Thanos Mephisto.
It's not really Moon Knight's Mephisto. It's not really Morbius. It's all Mephisto. There really hasn't been any MCU characters yet. They've all just been Mephisto playing with himself in his basement.
I love it. That isn't dirty at all.
But no, like with Moon Knight, though, like I'm really excited to see Oscar Isaac's portrayal of the character. He's a great actor. It wasn't a great movie, but I don't think he did a bad job as Apocalypse. I thought he played the character very well, very intimidatingly. The way that the character should be. I don't think they handled the character that well, but
yeah,
but what he brought to the table for it, I feel like I'm missing another superhero movie that he was in. Wasn't he?
He was Star Wars.
Yeah, he was. I didn't care about his character though in Star Wars. I don't think anybody did.
He was more like a comic relief. Like
he wrote himself into the movies. He was supposed to die in like the first scene. He was like, "Nah, that's not happening."
He's like our present day Han Solo, essentially. I mean, like he's the pilot that's got a mind of his own. He's kind of cocky and a little sarcastic. Like, I mean, he's essentially Han Solo. But I digress. Like he still played a good role, whether it was he
always does,
well-loved movie or not. But he's a great actor, and I'm excited to see him play multiple people in one movie. Which, if he can pull like a James McAvoy in Split, oh my fucking god, that would.
I don't think any actors right now that are out there can really pull. Maybe Johnny Depp,
Johnny Depp, that'd be fucking
maybe
great.
Eddie Murphy. But like other than those, like Michael Myers, Eddie Murphy, they're like the two that I think of when I think of like multiple characters in the same movie. And I feel like he's gonna kill it though. I really like what they're doing with it. I like the way that they're advertising what I've seen. Like I said, only one trailer, but like the suit looks great.
Yes, it does.
Like I just want to know more about the story. Again, Moon Knight's another one of those characters where like I've read comics that he's been in, but I've never read his comics. So like I know of the character, I've read storylines where he's involved, but never where like it's his storyline. It's always like, hey, we run into Moon Knight while we're doing this, or hey, Moon Knight's just kind of there in the background.
Yeah. And
But
I
I know
mean,
way before we did what was it, Batman versus Moon Knight, I think,
we
was like
did.
one
That
of
was
our
one of
first
our first
episodes.
episodes. Yeah.
So like we've talked about Moon Knight before. We've done our homework on him before. So like I kind of have an idea of his skill set. I have an idea of the character, and I just want to see how he portrays it.
Yeah. I have high hopes for this. I think it's going to go well as long as it's played properly and the writing was good, which again, we haven't had. I mean, look at all the MCU TV shows that have come out. Name a bad one. And I'm not saying like a bad episode or something you didn't like about a character, like name a bad show. It hasn't happened yet. So I expect good things. I have high hopes for this. And honestly, I'm ready for tomorrow. Like, you bet your ass I'm going to be up at 6 o'clock in the morning fucking watching this show. So,
Yeah, I'll be watching it first thing when I'm done work. Like, um,
you think they're going
and
to drop
I
more than one episode?
from what I've read, I don't think they are. I think they're only dropping the first episode. They may drop. Yeah, I don't. It's Disney, and it's Marvel. I don't see them dropping more than one episode. Like I know the boys, they're dropping the first three, and
Yeah.
then they're gonna do it 1 week at a time. But like I don't see because I don't think Marvel's done that yet. Drop multiple episodes at once. Because Marvel, like the boys, it's like a continuous storyline to where each Marvel episode feels like an individual movie at times. Like
I know.
one episode sets up like the next without giving much away, to where the boys like they kind of throw the entire plot in the first episode,
Yeah.
and then as they progress you learn more about each aspect of it. So like episode 1 was like Huey's girlfriend gets killed, and then he meets Butcher. So but then as it progresses, like then you learn Homelander's backstory in an episode, you learn Butcher's backstory in an episode, to where with the Marvel shows, take WandaVision, like it wasn't until like the last episode you really learned who Agatha was, how Agatha was. Now, if you were a comic reader, like we knew who Agatha was as soon as she said her name.
Yeah.
But like the average viewer, like they don't know that information until that episode. So literally, if you just watch episode like 5 of WandaVision, like you're gonna be so lost compared to the boys, where you can kind of like work it backwards and be like, oh, here's how we got here.
Yeah. No, I agree with that. I mean, that's just the way the MCU has worked, though. Like, if you weren't a comic person and you watched like some of the after credit scenes from any of the like the earlier Marvel movies, like when they introduced Thanos' face,
Right.
you didn't fucking know who that dude was. Like, if you're just like the average person, like the average guy's like, oh, I want to just go see a good movie. Oh, here's a Captain America. I remember him from when I was a kid. Like, let's watch that movie. Oh, who's this fucking guy? Like, I get it. The boys though, I mean, they're on a completely different level. We did an entire episode on people exploding and shit. So
Yeah.
that's a whole different
So they're
fucking
doing it one episode at a time. So
okay.
March 30th is episode 1, April 6th, episode 2, the 13th, episode 3, the 20th, episode 4, the 27th, and then May 4th is the finale. It's only 6 episodes long.
Yeah. For some reason, when you said the 30th and then you said the 6th, because it was 2 months, my brain couldn't compute. And I was like, why is there 2 weeks between the episodes? No, I'm just an idiot.
but yeah, and that's running the par for Marvel. That doesn't surprise me, and like that's not like a
No.
shocker for me that they're running it that way. But I really feel like it's going to up the ante with everything in the Marvel universe, because now that you're going to be throwing in, like, we already have the Norse gods.
Yep.
Now you're throwing in the Egyptian gods. So like a lot of people are like, oh, he's fighting a werewolf. Like I was saying before, like maybe it's Anubis.
Yep.
Anubis known to take on the form of a human dog.
Yep.
And in the one scene, he looks almost like zombified, which would make sense for the god of the underworld. Or I'm pretty sure Anubis is the god of the underworld. Yes. I know in Egypt there's like 3 different
Yeah, he's the god of death.
gods. Yeah, so there's the god of death, then there's the god of the underworld, where usually it's like one and the same being, Hades, or
Which would honestly be cool as shit, like as that concept, because we know Khonshu is the moon god that takes over his body, or how he becomes Moon Knight.
Like I'm thinking it's going to be kind of like a live action Yu-Gi-Oh kind of, in the sense of like you had the Egyptian. Oh, you never watched it?
No. I'm saying that's dope. I watched, so like I couldn't tell you if I watched every episode ever. I remember watching it as a kid.
Right.
And like
but
it
you
was
get where I'm going with it.
Oh yeah. No, that'd be fucking
like
cool. Because they're like
you
possessing
got
you.
Right, like the Egyptian pharaoh, and then he has like the evil Egyptian characters that inhabit the other emblems that are like trying to take his power, take his throne, whatever the case be. So, and I could see that maybe like Anubis doesn't see him as being like a worthy person of that power. Maybe, maybe he has something against the moon god. What's his name again? Khonshu. Maybe like Khonshu and Anubis have like. But all in all, like I really think it's going to be a nice change of pace. See things go a little bit darker. Like I know Captain and or Falcon and the Winter Soldier, that went a little bit darker. Like U.S. agent just straight up murked the guy with the shield. Like obviously WandaVision took a dark turn. Like the shows have been known to kind of go treading that path, but I would like to see the show stay in that realm. Because like everybody makes fun of DC, like, oh, it's so dark. But like I would love to see Marvel put something out in that realm. Because now you're also, like I said, we're getting Blade, we're getting Black Knight, like we're getting all these characters, and like that could be a massive team up in the future.
Oh, absolutely. I think it'd be
the Punisher. Because what are they called? It's Punisher, Daredevil. I think Moon Knight, Blade.
I was gonna say the Defenders, but
yeah, I'm blanking on
literally like just saw a meme about it the other day. Whatever. You know what we're talking about. I digress.
So, but yeah, like it could lead into so many bigger things, and that's what I love about Marvel, is their way to build on top of itself.
Oh, absolutely. And I mean, Marvel does it with their own spin on it too. It doesn't have to be perfect. It's not like a direct storyline from a comic, which is cool. Like they take it and they make it their own. I love it. And they make it, obviously for the modern day, because a lot of these comics were made, back in the fucking golden age of comics, and not like cell phones didn't exist, the tech didn't exist. Like they had the idea of what they wanted to do, but Iron Man, if you look at like the original Iron Man comic, it looks exactly like the fucking Iron Man 1, the Mark 1 fucking costume all the time. It wasn't, streamlined and fucking built into a hoodie back then. So, there's a lot more to it now, and I think that Marvel's
Midnight Suns.
Okay. Marvel's done an amazing job so far. I'm not even gonna sit here and act like they haven't absolutely knocked out of the park with like everything they've touched. So yeah, I'm excited. I'm definitely ready for this series. I'm ready for this movie to come out this week. We got a lot of big stuff going on, and we are going to be covering all of it for you guys.
Right. Yeah, because Midnight Suns, it's Morbius, Ghost Rider, Punisher, Blade, and then a couple other. Doctor Strange has been part of it.
Okay. That would actually be an interesting series too. Like, because again, a lot of those guys are anti-heroes.
Right. Because I think it's Strange. I think it's the Dark Doctor Strange that's part of it.
Strange Supreme?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's Strange Supreme, Blade, Punisher, Moon Knight. Well, it's usually Mr. Knight, but Moon Knight, obviously, like
Yeah.
they're pretty much the same person. But like Wolverine's been part of it. Iron Man, I think, has been part of it at one point. Like, there's so many people that they could bring into that team and do it. And especially, like I said, we got Black Knight now. Like, maybe, maybe Eternals was just setting up his character for the Midnight Suns, and maybe he's going to actually play a bigger role in like the Blade series that's coming out, or movie, or whatever they're doing with Blade.
That'd be fucking awesome, honestly. Like, I'm completely okay with that.
Same,
Yeah.
like
We got
I'm
a
just
lot of shit
excited to
coming
see.
up. We really do.
I know I'm excited for all of it. Just give me all of it.
Yes, today, preferably. I mean, well, I guess in a couple hours at this point. But yeah, I mean, that's really all I've got as far as like things that I'm hoping for out of this. I know we talked a little bit more about Morbius. I know it's going to be a bigger thing. Moon Knight, we're going to be covering week by week. So get ready for that.
Yeah, no, I mean, I feel like I feel like we're not covering as much of Moon Knight either because secretly we're both kind of more excited for it, and we don't want to spoil ourselves or get our hopes up or
Oh no,
anything like that.
you're absolutely correct. I'm super hyped for Moon Knight. I know I watched the trailers, but I didn't like dive into it, try to figure out anything. I didn't watch any like the breakdown videos yet. I want to, but I'm trying so hard to be good about that and like not spoil this show because it is going to be fucking amazing.
Right. And it's Marvel. Like I have my hopes so high up right now that because Marvel's, I know I'm more of a DC guy, but Marvel's been killing it, especially with this phase. Like, so everyone out there who was like, oh, they took out Thanos and they did the Infinity Saga too early, like they can't go anywhere from here. Your mouth has officially been shut. Like,
Yes, 110%. Like there's nothing that this world hasn't like. I mean, there's so much to the Marvel universe has to offer. Like this world has just started. Like we're at the tip of the fucking iceberg. And that was
right.
phases 1 through 3. Now we're getting into some crazy shit. We're bringing in uh characters that like you probably never heard of if you weren't a comic book reader in the multiverse of madness and quantum mania. So like there's going to be a whole lot of shit going down in the next few years that you just got to buckle up and get ready for. Just let it happen.
Oh, absolutely. And honestly, I'm probably one of those people. I probably at one point said I don't know where they're going to go from here. I don't think I ever said there was nowhere to go, but I think I was on the hesitant side after
It's a reasonable question.
Endgame.
It's a reasonable question.
I wasn't ready for this though.
Oh hell no, neither was I. But again, like I said a million times, and I'll say it a million times more. I'm fucking excited.
Yeah. So, that's all I got.
That's really all I've got to. Again, guys, like we said in the beginning, please check out our giveaway. We're giving away 2 tickets to go see Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. The giveaway for the tickets will be running until April 15th. If you are following us on all of our social medias, that's at Something Super Podcast on Instagram and Facebook, and at SS Podcast 52 on Twitter. Like our post and share it. Doesn't matter if you get retweets or reshares or any other likes on your post. As long as you do that, you can enter, and you can enter as many times as you'd like between now and April 15th. Just look for the posts, find them, share them. Simple as that.
Yeah, guys. And, as always, we thank you guys for the support, and we're really happy with the pace that we're growing right now. And we have a lot of big things coming up in the near future, that a lot of great material and a lot of, great announcements, and just stay tuned.
Absolutely, guys. Last but not least, I'm Steve.
I'm Mark.
We'll catch you guys next week.